Hey everyone, I'm Ernesto from Social Work Mentor, here to do another tutorial for our solution-focused approaches and specifically our solution-focused questions. And the one we're going to be working on today is the exception-seeking question. So if you go to socialworkmentor.com or if you have the app downloaded on your Android phone, either one, simply go to what you will see in our menu as solution focused. So when you click on that particular section, what you will see is all of our different solution focused approaches that we have aggregated here on this page. And the one that we're working on today is the exception seeking question. So what the exception seeking question is, this is an approach that you can use when working with a client who is really having some problems with their current situation. One thing that we often know about clients is that they can be extremely negative or feel really bad about a particular situation that they're in, when in another time that situation may have gone a little differently and they may have felt a lot better about themselves in the situation, and therefore more likely to be motivated to work on that situation and work on themselves in that situation. So what we're going to do with the exception seeking question is kind of help them revisit that in their mind so that they can identify a time when things were a little different and connect with that to be able to move forward in their current situation. So that being said, as you can see here in the app or on the website, one of the first things that you'll want to do when working with a client in this particular scenario would be to kind of help them identify other times when that have been similar to the current situation, but the problem that they're experiencing didn't happen at that time. So a question like, have there been times when this problem or when the problem didn't happen? Maybe it's they're having problems engaging with their son or daughter, and they're really frustrated about that. So the question of, have there been times when the problem didn't happen, will get them to connect if there were times in the past that they actually were able to engage with their child or their son or daughter. So that's the intent of that first part of the question, is to have them just connect with a time when that particular challenge was not there for them. The second thing then that you're going to want to follow up with is, when were these times and what was different? So now you're really helping them to focus in a little more and really think through and get a little more granular about what those more positive experiences were like. So, maybe that you'll guide them through a discussion about how old was their child when those things were going a little differently, a little more positive. Where did they live at that time? What grade was their child in? What job did they have? What was their state of mind at that time as the parent? So you're going to want to get them to connect a little more with that past experience that was a little more positive. And then what you're going to finally want to move them towards in this example is, a question something like this: what did you do differently during those times when the problem didn't happen? So in the initial part of the question, you had them just think about a time when things were different, things were a little bit better. That was the first part. The second part was to just get a little more detail, to connect more with what that time was like, when that time was, who was involved in that. Just get a little detail, make it feel more relative and real to them. And then the final part is you're really trying to get them to move to identify what was it that was the exception to their behavior at that time that's not happening now. So maybe they'll talk through something like that they sat down on the floor with their child and played games with them, and that helped them to engage with them and have little talks with them. Or maybe it was, we went every Saturday for ice cream and we talked on the car ride over and on the way back. Something like that. So this is an attempt to kind of get them to now specifically realize that there are actions that they can actually take to bring themselves out of their current situation. So recognizing that they have done it in the past, there were actions that they were able to take to address the issue. And then ideally, what you're trying to do here is motivate them and help them to understand that they still have the capacity to do this for the current situation. So I hope this was helpful for you for the exception seeking question. Keep an eye out for the next one, and I'll see you in the next tutorial for solution focused questions.